Hey guys, this is the performance dashboard. It's a record of inputs and outputs. It's kind of like a P&L, but it adds in those numbers that marketers love to talk about, like ROAS, AOV, and CAC, and creates a consideration for the operational expense obligation for the channels that we're focusing on and the brand's evolving gross margin profile. Because your gross margins can change, right? If you sell more products with better margins, like crop tops in summer and jackets in winter. And it all conditionally formats with a traffic light system to communicate your trajectory at a glance with no time cost. There's even break-even limits down here. You might notice that for new customer efficiency is actually at a loss in this dashboard because they have very strong return customer revenue. That's not a recommendation, that's just the truth. With this composition, you would have to incur a loss on acquisition to break even. So no more time spent building dumb Looker Studio reports that don't work or trying to make sense of 2,000 different numbers when that time would be better spent doing the work that gets the results. This lets us focus on leading indicators. These two sheets here are inputs for the first sheet. I thought about compiling them into one sheet here, but I think the dashboard should be clean. CPA analyzer. So this is what your profit would look like at a higher CPA, not only on acquisition, but over lifetime. It pulls in your actual numbers from your dashboard, from your P&L, and 2x's them to answer the question, does taking a loss in margin capture on acquisition from a higher CPA net out positive? In this case, $113 from 87 new customers. After all costs considered, discounts, gross margin, CPA, so the full cost of making your product and taking it to market and getting it to your customer's door is worse than paying a higher CPA across a larger pool of customers. 9 times out of 10, this is the case. You know this, I know this, but this lets us confidently plan for it and get on the same page, right? Next one here is the ROAS calculator. Create efficiency targets based on each offer that we have, right? The combination of product and promotion. ROAS sounds like ROI, so it's normal to want your ROAS to be 10 or 100, but that limits growth, right? So with this tool, we can create a target for our ROAS with consideration for our cost of our promotion here in total discounts and the cost of making our product and getting it to our customer in our gross margin and how much we want to make on each sale with this consideration here for profit on acquisition. Cool. I've also added in industry averages, right? So you can switch your industry average and see if your target ROAS is higher than the industry average for, you know, one of these markets. This is only for July when I built this tool, but yeah, if it's higher, it's going to conditionally format rep because you're likely to get outbid, right? You're saying, hey, I want a 2 ROAS, but then there are competitors in your market that are saying, I'll take a 1.9, and that's the average right now for that market. Awesome, so that's the ROAS calculator. On to the next one. This is the ad analyzer. So this one takes a look at some other performance metrics, a little bit more media buyery, right? But it's taking a look at some of the rates of valuable interactions with your ads, adding up to the ones that have the strongest correlation with revenue realization. So we can see here, hook rate, the rate at which we stop people's thumbs when they're scrolling, watch rate, getting considerable watch time, click rate, actually clicking through and going to our website or to our shops, right, on the marketplace. Quality click rate, how many of those people are actually navigating and looking at products and viewing content. Add to cart rate, right? How many of those people are adding a product to their cart, and then conversion rate. And then it's also generating a solution here. So I got like some conditional formatting, some if statements to say, hey, based on your composition, based on these results that you put in here, you have a solution. Simple scenario planner. So you've probably seen one of these before. Very, very simple. This one's very stripped back, but it pulls in your data from your P&L from that dashboard. Again, to sort of paint a picture for worst case and best case scenarios in a way that is immediately recognizable, right? A lot of the times we see scenario planners, they're so many sheets long, they're so complicated. This one is not very complicated at all. It will require a little bit of tweaking. So here I've got the gross margin profile changing, right, with the distribution of products by sales by product, right? If you sell more products with a better gross margin profile, maybe because they're cheaper to ship or they're just more profitable products, right? They cost less to produce and we can charge more for them. We're seeing that the actual gross margin profile improves, and maybe that's actually not possible for this business. So they'll have to be tweaked based on your business, right? And based on what's actually doable. Same thing with AOV here, right? Ideally, new customers are spending more, but sometimes new customers spend less, and that's okay because they're going to come back and buy more and they're just testing out the product for the first time. So yep, pulls in your numbers from your P&L, from your dashboard to paint that scenario. Also conditionally formats to highlight the best case scenario, right, for both profit on acquisition and lifetime profit. Awesome. Moving on to the coolest tool. This is the coolest tool in this whole stack. It's the Profit Planner. I spent a very long time working on this one with a couple of CFO friends. And so this one, I won't get into too much detail about it, but it's creating a plan for profit. There are a few goals in here like growth, profit, market domination, where you trade everything, where you trade all of your net profit for growth, for new customer revenue. growth, where you trade all new customer contribution for return customer contribution as a result of increased new customer revenue, and profit, where you take enough profit on acquisition that would allow you to break even with every dollar of incremental ad spend. So this one's quite a fun one. And then in the top right here, we can see our time frame, right? So we can see our 30-day time frame, how much we would expect to spend and how much we would expect to see in net profit, 60 days and 90 days too. Cool stuff. And then this last one, this one is really cool too. I really like this one. I think it's cool. Maybe not as cool as the profit planner, but it's pretty cool as well. And this one is the ad spend calculator to calculate the sweet spot for ad spend. If every time you spent $1,000, you made $10,000, you'd never stop. You just keep going, but that's not how the real world works. Eventually, you see attrition in your cost efficiencies. So this takes a linear regression of your inputs and outputs. Channel agnostic, right? You're spending this much in marketing cost and you're seeing this much in return. Whereas the sweet spot for return from new customers and advertising cost. So we can see here for this brand, currently spending $2,227 a day. This AOV, LTV, all of it pulled in from the P&L again. And we can select our date range to choose shorter date ranges to have more precise data, longer date ranges to have more accurate data because you're using more data points, right? And then we can see the daily sweet spot ad spend, that's our input, the output, which would be new customer revenue, and the daily contribution profit on acquisition here. And we can see all the data that goes into it. So it's the ad spend history and then the linear regression table here. Awesome. So that's about it. I hope that this was valuable. I hope that you get a lot out of it. There's a lot of conversations that you can solve for with this and a lot of confidence that you can get as well that you're making the right decisions. Thank you so much.